Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking plenty of things came into mind as you were seeing what to get out of this. As far as why I would do structured Yoga Nidra program and kind of what's going on in life. But yeah, so definitely as a PA, work can get intense, and I've had my ups and downs in my field where I am, and I feel like uh I'm a first time mom. My daughter will be one in 2 days.
Oh my gosh, she's already one.
Yeah. So kind of just going into it, I've always been very kind of career driven. I've always been very much interested I work in cardiothoracic surgery.
That's
So I've been,
intense.
yeah, always kind of like striving and climbing to try to get those skills in the operating room. And those skills kind of, I want to say, didn't really come as naturally to me as like the patient care side of things, but I've always been interested in that surgical skill part of things, which yeah, it can get really, really intense. And I kind of went into motherhood with this idea, like a kind of a question of, am I going to still have all the same passion, all the same, like I really want to put everything into my career? Am I going to have that same kind of energy? So think I was kind of just curious as to the ways that motherhood might change me as far as talking to other people and realizing that it does change a lot of people
Of
and sometimes
course, yeah.
kind of completely pivot from their career goals. So yeah, I never really went into it with the mindset that I would pivot from my goals kind of thing. But going into this time, I have had a lot of focus on self-care and like meditation, breath work. I actually did the Reclaim Your Radiance program with
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got into your program, what kind of like
Yeah.
an email about deep breath. I was like, oh, okay, well, that'd be great. But before that, I also did like a breath work and meditation workshop for my PA colleagues, like PAs and NPs, a few years before. So I've always been, or at least more so in the last 6, 7 years, really focused on self care. And then becoming a mom,
Yeah.
realized like how much I really needed that foundation.
Yeah.
So while being on maternity leave, it was towards the end of my maternity leave that I saw your program come up. And I said, oh, like, deep breath, like that's definitely something I could use and
Yeah.
something I can incorporate into my day. So, and as far as having it be something that's structured versus just picking one online, is that it was really helpful for me to have the group to go to and to say, okay, I have this scheduled time, like the scheduled lives were very helpful. That would kind of bring my brain to, okay, it's our time to meet, and this is going to be my time. Whenever I can
Yeah.
carve it out, like it's going to be my time to really take a moment to be mindful and to like recenter myself. And that's something I did find in working with you, that there were times where my mind would be scattered and I'm all over the place thinking about what's the next task for me, and when am I gonna get these things done? But I say, no, I'm gonna get this hour in or try to get this time in with you guys. And so that was a really big benefit to being in the group, is that I knew that there was a scheduled time and I could like put it in my calendar, like, okay, I can go back and make this time fit in my day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love that because you took command of what you wanted and prioritized it. And I mean, your career demands a lot. You're a new mom. That demands a lot. So I think you showing that it is doable still. I think sometimes it can feel overwhelming. Like, I don't want to sign up for a program. It's just too much, which I get. But like, you're showing that it was pretty doable despite your busy
absolutely.
schedule. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I was just so mindful of how beneficial it would be as well to me.
Mhm.
And every time we did meet, I definitely came away just feeling more relaxed and more calm. And I just always appreciated the reminder that we can return to that space again and again.
Yes. Yeah, and we're
And
not taught that in medicine,
yeah,
right? Like we're both
exactly.
in the medical field and we're just not taught some of this stuff that can be
Exactly.
so transforming in the way you show up in your career as a mother, as a friend, as a partner, whatever it may be. So, were you
Exactly.
struggling with anything before you came to the program?
So yeah, just kind of the crossroads of identity
Yeah.
and like responsibilities, my roles kind of.
Yeah.
I guess time management, definitely. Time management. And like as far as how I'm going to balance my work day versus like home responsibilities. Um, and I guess I kind of was struggling to make that time for myself.
Hmm.
And I really just had to be mindful because even, in the early days, it's very much like, okay, where am I going to fit in my shower, in this day
Hmm.
sometimes. So I guess maybe not entirely struggle every day, but it's definitely a challenge to be mindful of really making time for myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like in doing that, then that's how I can be more available to the people that I'm expected to serve in my life, including
And
my
what I loved about what you did, like you would show up and if your baby needed you, you brought her into the life. And that was great. Like you still were with it, even though
yes,
like you're like, I'm still a mom. It's not like you had to separate
yes,
completely. Like you
definitely.
still brought her, which was lovely, and like everyone
Yeah.
loved seeing her too. So it was like
Yeah. In the early days she was still just a little blah, not as
it's so
wiggly.
cute.
I could
Oh,
put her down and
yeah, it was
yeah,
adorable.
did we start? Was it end of June or early
Yeah,
July?
June sometime. I think I can't remember if it was beginning or
Yeah,
end,
so
but
she was like 4 months old. So,
yeah,
and then I appreciate that, like breathing calmly and kind of how that would to help her feel calm as well, hopefully. And these
yeah,
are things I want to teach her as well, that our self-regulation, which, it might take some time before, but
yeah. No, but I mean,
yeah,
you're modeling it, which is great,
yeah,
like both professionally and personally. So I think that's a huge, I think shift that we're going to see in medicine also. And you're
mhm,
like committed to kind of like bringing that into your daily life, which is really, I think, admirable because we tend to be a very go, go, go and very heady space. Like in medicine, it's very macho, like in terms of like if you can't cut it, like you're not good enough.
definitely. And then even with like the heart-brain coherence, for instance, that's
Hmm.
something that we can bring with us into the workplace and just kind
Yes.
of I can't, I'm allowed to put my hand here in the OR and say, all right, I'm going to take a nice deep breath, and be mindful of what it is that we're doing, and also bringing that calm energy into the space versus my heart rate going at 120, and
Yeah,
out of
which
the
isn't good
journey.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone like notice or comment anything like about you or if you did that in the OR or
Necessarily. Yeah, no, not that
yeah.
I really, yeah, would notice. But something I remember going to a conference that talked about, I know they were measuring like sound decibels in the room and how quickly it took people to get back to baseline after, like, for instance, like surgeons yelling or a loud sound in the room, that the heart
Hmm.
rates would go up and people kind of tense up, and it takes a while to return to baseline. And so I'm not really sure what it all encompasses, what it all means, but that, that could definitely play into just the energy of the room and like how everyone works together in an operation, because you want
Totally.
to matters of life and death, that we want everyone to be able to work together smoothly. And so hopefully if everyone kind of like, we can bring this more into the workspace and be able to better help our patients and be in better space when we're doing it.
100% because it's the OR is a stressful environment, and so what
Yeah.
you were mentioning earlier with the heart brain coherence, that's actually a research based technique from the Heart Math Institute. And what I did was just put it into a yoga nidra, like created a yoga nidra with that so that you could do it anytime really. And like once you train those techniques, like they're with you all the time. Like the medicine is with you wherever you go. It's not like you have to necessarily, if you don't have time to practice today, you can still be in that state and have control over your nervous system so that you're not as reactive to outside forces. Because I imagine in the OR and with the demands of being a mom, you don't know what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. All the time you
Right.
don't have control. But it's like you do have
Right.
control over and you were saying you kind of initiate that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I guess towards the end, like when I did get busier, like back to work and
Yeah.
baby's getting more mobile and more verbal, that I did kind of sometimes have trouble getting into the live per
Uh-huh.
se, but when I kind of trying to play catch up, it was still helpful for me to have those recorded modules to be able to follow along with. And then also, yeah, just knowing that, I have a schedule, like it's something there that I can kind of go back to. So I think that was really helpful to have that program that way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say so the thought ran away from me, but when the end when you did the evaluation, I felt like I had trouble. I looked at the question, I was like, well, I felt like I wasn't consistent with like joining in, so I had trouble kind of in the end saying, okay, this is where I was and this is where I am now. But I still felt like I had to have this talk with you and kind of let you know my experiences because it was always instant. Like every time that I did join, or like if I put on one of your the modules and I took that time to do the Nidra, I instantly felt the benefit. So, and
Yeah.
kind of was able to carry that through my day. So that's why I feel like even though consistently over time, I would like to in the future
Of
do
course,
one and
but you're also in a season
hopefully,
of life that's very, you know,
yeah,
time demanding on you. So I think what is admirable is that you still were able to do it. And I think there's still benefit to doing it, even if you're not like fully deep within it, if that makes sense.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah,
So yeah,
I
thank you
agree.
for being a part of it. I mean, is there anything else you would like to share?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for putting it together and also the weekend programs. Like that's just so nice of you. And I've been actually telling all my colleagues whenever you if there is one, I've been sharing the link with them and posting it.
Oh,
I'm like,
thank you for
oh,
sharing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's fun
yeah.
introducing people to Yoga Nidra because a lot of people haven't heard of it. Had you heard of it before or practiced it before you came?
I had not. I do listen to okay because my husband listens to Huberman,
Oh, yeah,
but I didn't
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that from his podcast. So no, that was the first time I heard of that, like the non-sleep deep breath or yoga nidra. Even though I've done like other forms of yoga.
Hmm.
Um, so there's something else. And I want to, oh yes, your guide, the guidance part is also very useful because I've also had friends tell me, well, meditating, I don't know how to meditate. My brain goes here and there. But
Hmm.
I notice, even when it does happen, it's just like, okay, just come back to this moment. So that was
Yeah.
also very helpful to have your guidance on coming back to the present moment and just being, with the breath and
Yeah.
resting.
Yeah, I think you make a good
That was
point
very
is
helpful.
that I think sometimes when people hear meditation, they get very intimidated or like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's way too hard. No, thank you. My life
Mm-hmm.
is already hard enough. Like, I don't want to add more to my plate, which I get because sitting meditation can be very hard. But this is beautiful because it's lying down, so you're kind of just supported, so automatically your body can like kind of just relax already. And then,
Definitely.
the point of Yoga Nidra is to get the mind out of the way. So the guidance, like having the cues, is really helpful. So you don't have to think about it. Someone's already telling you like what to do.
Definitely.
And that helps guide you down into the deeper, more restorative phases of the brain and body. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was happy that the last one I did join on, one of my colleagues was able to get on there. I was
Oh,
like, give me
great.
more, come on. Yeah, because she did mention that she was having trouble with just quieting the mind kind of thing too. But I just
Yeah.
so she noticed, maybe not in the operating room, but she noticed me. Remember the one time I actually was in the call room? I was like, I'm getting my Zen in.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
And she was there that day, and I was like, yeah, I'm in this pilot study. I'm like, come on.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, that to me is like the testament to you literally, you were still very committed, even
Yep,
despite all that was going on. And I think
really.
it's nice about Yoga Nidra is that it's not as intimidating, I feel like. And
Good.
so and you, because you feel the benefits, pretty immediately, like you want to do it.
Definitely. Yeah. I was like, I gotta get my Zen in.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing and spreading the word about Yoga Nidra. It's a beautiful practice, and I love that you're kind of like spreading it in the medical system in your own way.
Yeah,
So
we need it. Yeah, we definitely need it.
yeah, so thank you, and thank you for being on the journey with me as I kind
Yeah.
of, am navigating a new phase in my career. So appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
And yeah, I'll keep you posted on the next weekender.
All right. Sweet.